to running a successful aesthetic business, right? It's no cakewalk. It's no cakewalk. It's a full-time job that demands dedication and strategic thinking. And if you believe you can't afford to invest in a dedicated practice manager, well, I would tell you to think again. If you are thinking that this is a non-revenue generating position and you can't afford to do it, I would tell you that a skilled practice manager has the potential to bring in returns worth millions, certainly hundreds of thousands of dollars annually, not to mention prevent you from being an overworked employee in your own business. And the ability to have a business that is self-led. So today, I'm going to be unpacking the role and responsibilities of an effective practice manager that's going to help drive your team in your business to win. Now, when it comes to the essential systems needed in your aesthetic business, and assigning those roles and responsibilities, you can really set yourself and your team up for success when you have clearly defined roles and responsibilities. That's going to help you achieve productivity, win back some time for you, right, business owners, and help create less confusion and disappointment and duplication, right? So before you can optimize and delegate this role, you really need to first establish a baseline in your business, right? All the hats of what the business owner is doing. If you have a practice manager currently, what roles and responsibilities or hats they're wearing, who's currently doing your in-office marketing, what your front desk is doing, right? Or maybe none of these things are happening. So when I share with you today's list of what an effective practice manager could be handling for you, you need to take inventory and put them into buckets, right? Like, oh, I'm a business owner, I'm doing that right now, right? Or nobody's doing that. Or, maybe one of the providers or the front desk is handling a role, responsibility, or delegation, right? So you need to take inventory. But at the end of the day, an effective practice manager could and should be doing all of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you. If you would like this complete list, make sure that you reach out to us. I would be happy to send this to you. Hey, Rejuvenate and Glow Skincare, thanks for joining us live here. Okay, so let's dive into the 4 different buckets that I like to put these different roles and responsibilities in. So the first is human resources. And actually, let me back up 1 second here first, because it's really important that you don't just check the box. Like, yep, we have human resources. Yep, we hire and train people, right? I want you to think about, is the way that we're doing this really effective? Is it really serving me, my team, and ultimately our patients at the end of the day? Is the way we're doing things helping us to have better productivity, efficiency, clarity, consistency, control, right? Because that's what systems will do for you. So when I say human resources, hiring and training, and implementing policies and procedures, regulating licenses, certifications, credentialing, doing staff reviews, setting goals, monitoring goals, right? Doing payroll may sound pretty straightforward, and a lot of people can be checking those boxes, but I want you to ask yourself, do we have a really solid recruitment, hiring, onboarding process for our team? Or are we waiting until we have like an immediate need, right? And then we're just scrambling and we're just hiring anyone because we're desperate at this point, right? So I want you to really think about, are we just checking the box, or do we really have a sound system in place? And a sound system includes input, process, output, and a feedback loop, okay? And make sure, is it really serving you and getting you the result with consistency that you are looking for each of those things? The next bucket is marketing, okay? So do you have a really developed marketing strategy with consistent branding, right? What is your brand story, and is that being consistent throughout all the different platforms that you use in your marketing strategy? Do you have an established and maintained social media policy with before and after pictures, with your staff, right? Social media profiles, and is it compliant? What is your external marketing campaigns? What is your website producing leads? What does that nurture follow-up look like, right? What kind of content and engagement are you getting on your social channels, on your website, in your e-newsletter, in your text blast every single month? Is it optimized for engagement and at the end of the day, results, right? What kind of CRM do you have in your marketing? This is going to help tell you what your return on investment. This is going to help you make informed decisions on where you should be spending your time, your money, and your energy with your marketing. What kind of relationships, right, are you developing and fostering with business partners and influencers in your target audience? And then events, right? Sales events, open house events, holiday events, VIP events, members only events, right? Events should generate you potentially like a full month of revenue, right? Depending on where you're at in your revenue journey, right? But it could easily generate you an extra $50,000 to $100,000 off of a properly executed sales event. So the top performing med spas are doing at least 4 big events a year. So if you're not doing that yet, make sure that you set that as a goal. Okay, financials, right? This is a really big one. Knowing your numbers and then making informed business decisions, right, around those financial numbers and goals, and then reverse engineering a plan with accountability built in to get there. So with that being said, who's managing your inventory efficiently, right? Ensuring that your stock is on hand, but not that you're so overextended with stock that it's taking up your cash flow, right? Or it's so easy for inventory to walk out that back door when you're overextending yourself there, right? So who's creating, maintaining, and here's another one, interpreting your financial reports? Who's really working your EMR to squeeze all the juice out of the current patients that you already have? So many people are just so worried. I want more patients, more patients. Yes, that is great. Your marketing should be delivering new patients, but so many aesthetic practices have all the patients that they need to generate their growth goals if they would do more with what they already have, but they're not utilizing their EMR or their marketing CRMs and their different reporting measures. And patient financing tools, reward platforms, tools that is going to help you squeeze more juice out of your current patients that you already have, right? So you also need who's doing payroll, right? Who's monitoring, not only monitoring, developing compensation plans, but working one-on-one with your team members. So it's not just like, well, you didn't meet your goal again this month and you didn't qualify the bonus. No, we want to reverse engineer plans of teaching, showing them a pathway of how they can achieve those goals, right? And you want to make them realistic. The worst thing is when you have such an outlandish compensation plan or goal that you don't even pay attention to it or acknowledge it because it's so far-fetched, right? So there's a real art to one, developing compensation plans, but then training and holding your team accountable for making sure that they're consistently hitting their goals. And when your team and your providers are consistently hitting their goals, that's when they're going to stay more engaged. That's where we on our team love talking about having intrapreneurs, where it's not their business, right? But they treat it and love it as if it's their own business. And when you have really solid compensation plans that, not only allows them an opportunity to do what they love, but make good money while doing it. So it's a win-win-win for everyone. That is when you are going to keep employees long-term. That's when they're going to stay engaged with you and really show love to not only your patients, but your business as well. So you need to interpret those reports, those financial reports, and look at different profit margin analysis of, again, where you can squeeze the juice. There is so much gross revenue that happens in aesthetic practices, but it's the profit at the end of the day that really matters, right? We had one client that we were working with that their main focus was just streamlining their profit margin and fine-tuning things, right? And that year of focus didn't generate them any more growth from a gross revenue, but they had over a 10% profit margin growth increase at the end of the year after their fine-tuning and work with their practice manager with their financials. So they weren't working harder, they were working smarter, which then allowed them to the next phase really dig into scaling their marketing because now they were ready and to fully realize the true benefit of their marketing. So you got to get your financials in order and utilize and analyze that financial information that you have access to make good, sound business decisions and to support your team and your staff. Who's looking at your the patient experience, right, from start to finish, and ensuring that, because that absolutely has to do with rebooking rates and average revenue per hour and how many packages and memberships, and really having an orchestrated plan for that patient journey. Another thing is managing non-medical aspects of your operations, right, because that is going to greatly impact the health of your business. So workflows, payroll, expense reports, inventory, all of these things are so important to be managed and to be utilized for the total health of your business. Now, administration is pretty straightforward, but a lot of these things are being missed, right? We're just checking the boxes. Of course, you oversee the day-to-day operations, right? But do you have KPIs, benchmarks, retention rates, utilization, who's maintaining your retail and your back bar in your ordering, who's handling effective patient scheduling, right? And really strategizing what that looks like. So if you're someone that's not very busy, you're taking what you can get, right? But if you're a practice that's pretty busy, that you're at 60, 70% of capacity, it's really important for you to begin getting strategic with your scheduling. And there's absolutely a process that can be built and accountability that can be built in, because if you're missing one or two opportunities to fill a hole in your appointment, that adds up very, very quickly. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have all your proper documentations and official agreements related to your company, your equipment, and your services at hand, on hand at all times, making sure that you're compliant, right? Not only on the medical side, but also on the business side as well. And there is a lot to it, right? So you have to decide, are you outsourcing this to outside contractors, or do you have a skilled practice manager that can handle it on your behalf, right? And the important thing is, one, that it gets done, it's done correctly. And ideally your practice manager can do that. And if they can't, that's okay, but you have to then make sure that it is still getting done. There's checks and balances to it. So who is this really establishing and maintaining relationships with your outside vendors and sales representatives? Guys, those are worth gold when utilized properly. They really, really are. And there's a whole process and system around that. Who's managing your EMR? There are so many cool bells and whistles that EMRs can do for you, but most of the time you just are not taking advantage of all the capabilities. And I understand it's overwhelming, and no, there is not one perfect EMR out there. I have my favorites, right? But at the end of the day, none of them are perfect, but you got to let that go. You got to get over that. And you have to, your practice manager has to be a pro, a whiz, know your EMR inside and out, because it's going to give you financial reporting. It's going to give you marketing data. It's going to nurture and reactivate your current patients, right? It's going to increase your rebooking rates with a good membership program in your EMR. And of course, it's going to, in essence, allow you the opportunity to get patients in more often, spending more dollars with you when used properly. But you can't just use it as a scheduling tool. You can't just use it as a place to put your patient records. It can do so much more. And your practice manager really is responsible for squeezing all those opportunities out of it. Okay. They're also responsible for creating and assigning new protocols, ideas, and really executing the vision of the business owner, right? The business owner oftentimes is the visionary of the business, still often wearing the hat of provider as well. And so your practice manager really should be executing and installing those great ideas and protocols in your business. And it takes a person's full attention to do that. But there's a way to do it, right? And so it's really important that that's clearly defined. And of course, contributing to the culture of the business and the morale of the team. So I just gave you a high level overview broken down into human resources, marketing, financials, and then administrative responsibilities. So I just gave you a lot. And I want you to, again, right now, think about putting those into different buckets of, I'm currently doing this right now as the business owner. I have a practice manager doing this, or other would be like, oh, maybe I have my front desk doing this. because I don't have a practice manager yet, right? And then the third is like, it's not getting done at all. And that's going to really give you a snapshot of where you need to focus your energy. Whether that's, oh, I need to hire a practice manager, or I need to fine tune and systematize maybe a role and responsibility before the business owner can delegate or hire a practice manager, right? So a little bit of organization and house cleaning is often needed at the beginning of really cleaning up the systems in your business. But I just want to cast this vision for you of what's possible once you do this housekeeping. Once you develop and optimize the systems in your business, it's going to help you replicate the results of your top performers. It's going to help you extinguish those daily fires that is causing you overwhelm, stress, and anxiety. It's going to help you consistently hit your growth in your revenue goals. And who doesn't want all of those things? Not to mention, give you that space that you need to create the lifestyle that you desire, give you back more time, right? And I know you want all of those things. So let's get your house in order. Let's get organized. Let's get systematized and develop strong rules and responsibilities to set yourself and your team up for success. To have an effective practice manager that can implement your vision as the business owner and really get you on track to hit those growth and revenue goals consistently. Who doesn't want all of those things? Okay, so I hope this provides you, really a framework of getting organized and to see what's possible when you do a little housekeeping and build strong foundational structure in your business. If you loved this training, make sure you share it with your team or another med spa that could benefit. And you can catch the replay on my YouTube channel. And to get more free trainings that will help your aesthetic practice grow, visit my Linktree in my social channel. And be sure to join me live every single week at the same time, Wednesday, 2:30 Central Time, same place on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks so much for joining me.